this is Isra Yusuf and I'm going to give you an English lesson. This is actually for grade 7 at Finnish Systems School. Today we're going to talk about simple, compound, complex and compound complex sentences. This is from Unit 6, pages 158 to page 163. Actually, the outcomes, what are the students expected to have after this lesson end? Actually, they are expected to understand the different structures, sentences, types, to be able to analyze the text, and to be familiar with capitalization, punctuation, and spelling. This is actually what your students are expected to have at the end of the lesson. Now let's talk about something. What is the difference between independent clause and dependent clause? Actually, independent clause, which is a group of words that can stand alone, which can stand alone in a sentence that gives you a full idea, a full main idea, and it is actually can stand alone. It doesn't need a complement or something to continue it. It is actually, it has both a subject and a verb and forms of a complete thought. The dependent clause is actually the opposite, which is the clause that can stand alone, which is depending on an independent clause to form a complete thought. So dependent clause needs an independent clause so that it can give you a complete thought, a complete idea. Now you have like simple, compound, complex, and compound, complex sentences. We talked about the difference between the simple, compound sentences, but the simple sentences which is made from one independent clause, and as we said, one independent clause, which means the sentence or group of words that can stand alone, independent clause which can stand alone, which give you a full idea, a full main idea. This is the simple sentence. For example, the storm grew stronger. It is actually a full idea, and it has a subject and a verb and a complement. The compound sentence actually has more than one independent clause, and these the closest, two independent clauses, which two sentences that can stay alone. But these the clauses are joined together by the coordinated conjunctions and, but, or, nor, for, so, and yet, and we can put them all in a word which is fan boys. Which you are going to take the first letter of each, and you would have the conjunction. It would make it easier for you to memorize it. For example, the storm grew stronger and it soon became a hurricane. If you looked here, you would have like the storm grew stronger and it soon became a hurricane. These are actually two independent clauses. Each of them can stand alone, and they are joined together by the conjunction which is and. This is actually what you mean by compound sentence. You have two independent clauses and they are joined by a conjunction, one of the conjunctions. The complex sentence, it contains of one independent clause and one or more dependent clause, which we mean by dependent clause, which is the sentence that can stand alone, which needs an independent clause so that it can give you a full idea, a full thought or idea. Okay, so the independent clause, which is the sentence which can stay alone. So you have like one independent clause and two or more dependent clause. These clauses are joined by subordinated conjunctions. We call them subordinated conjunctions, such as after, although, before, because, if, since, unless, until, and so on. So you should be familiar with them. They are joined together. For example, when I say when its winds passed 74 miles per hour, the storm was classified as a hurricane. This is actually the clause which is underlined with two lines. It is a dependent clause, and the independent clause which is underlined by one line. So if you looked, you would have the two underlined sentence or clause which is dependent, and the one underlined clause which is independent clause. The compound complex sentence which has two or more independent clauses or two or one or more dependent clauses. So you might have like two or more independent clauses and more than one dependent clause. For example, when its winds pass 74 miles per hour, So this is a dependent clause. The storm was classified as a hurricane. This is an independent clause, and it is joined with "and people prepared for its landfall." This is actually an independent clause. So two independent clauses and one dependent clause. This is actually the difference between these sentences, which is these sentences. So it depends on the dependent clause and the independent clause. Here is the structure, and there is a summary of each sentence structure. How many independent and dependent clauses does it have? And you have the examples. Here we are going to talk about the capitalization, punctuation, and spelling. Actually, capitalization, there are rules for capitalization. If you see here, the capitalization, we capitalize the first letter of each sentence, the first letter of each sentence. My cat is right. As you say, mine is capitalized. The pronoun I in each and every case, the pronoun I is capitalized. The names of people, if you have the name of people, it should be capitalized, so that the names of places, the opening of the letter, if you're writing a letter, it should be capitalized. The closing of the letter, it should be capitalized also. The first word in a quotation, it should be capitalized. The title of everything, it should be capitalized. You should be familiar with these rules, and you should know it. This is actually a worksheet capitalization. You have some rules, and you know, as we said, there's actually a revision, and here you have like an exercise, so you can do it. You are going to find like 20 capitalization mistakes below. So do this exercise. It is actually a homework. Now let's move to punctuation. You know that punctuation, we use each punctuation mark for a certain purpose. You have period, question mark, exclamation point, quotation mark, semicolon, parentheses, and dashes. Each one of them is actually used for a certain purpose. The period marks the end of the sentence. The question mark indicates the end of the question. You have a question. Exclamation point, which is used to end a dramatic sentence or statement. And quotation mark, you are using it to indicate the type of speech of something, the exact words spoken. The comma, which indicates a natural pause in a sentence and separates items in a list. Colon, which precedes an explanation or example of what has gone before. And semicolon, which is used to separate two sentences that are related. Lists of items which have several words, all the clauses in a sentence. So it's actually to separate two sentences that are related. Parentheses, which is we use it to separate extra information. And dashes, they are also used to separate extra information from the main sentence or statement. Okay? This is actually the punctuation, you should know each one of them. The spelling, you should be careful while spelling each word. So especially the words that sound like other words. For example, there, over there, it sounds like the same. They are. So actually, you should like note. I'll be careful to spell correctly. And you have some examples in your book. You should note at them. You have here where, which is for location. I'm asking about location and direction. Where put on as a cloth when you are wearing something. So it sounds like they might sound as each other, but they are like totally different. They have a totally different meaning. So you should be careful while using it. The last thing, which is how to analyze the text. We have talked about how to analyze the text. And I told you that if you want to analyze the text, if you want to organize your evidence-based text, you should know the title, you should be familiar with the introduction, where's the topic, the main idea you're talking about, and in the body paragraph, in the body you have paragraphs which have a supporting, which are provided with evidences, facts, details, or examples. So each paragraph has its own fact, detail, or example, and the last paragraph, which is the conclusion, you are summarizing what you have said in the previous paragraphs. This is actually how you analyze the text, and the lesson has ended. Hope you enjoyed it. You have a homework, page 159. Stay safe. This is your teacher, Isra Yusuf, and the sample answers are below. Check your homework after you do it. Thank you, and bye-bye.